A power cable is an electrical cable, an assembly of one or more electrical conductors, usually held together with an overall sheath. The assembly is used for transmission of electrical power. Power cable may be installed as permanent wiring within buildings, buried in the ground, run overhead, or exposed. A power cable is used for the transmission and distribution of electrical energy is called electrical power cable. Power cable consists of two or more electrical conductors joined with an oval sheath. It is used for the transmission of extra high voltage in a place where overhead lines are impracticable. In our case, we are using the power cable starting from the isolated switch that consists of that supply 450 volt, which installed within the building to the power block terminal of the frequency converter, and also distributed to the controlling circuit system. We are also using the power cable at the internal transformer of the frequency converter itself. Next, power cable are also used in the connection between the internal transformer to the out terminal block of the frequency itself. The next slide will show the picture of the power cable made up of 4 elements.
Okay, for the interlock system, it has their own cable and termination point. Interlock box have connection with latching sensor. As example, we cannot do the injection testing when the alarm in red color, which means the door is open. If the door is closed, the latch will cause the interlock circuit become normally closed. Then we reset the alarm button and green lamp is activated. In this example, the interlock is used to monitor the door to the high voltage part of the system and to monitor if the ground rod is taken up from the high voltage. It can also be a door in a safety fence mounted around the high voltage pipe. The hearting plug with 6 pins is used to connect the interlock. The two normally close contact are used together. The interlock works with a dual channel operation, so it will monitor the discrepance time between the two contacts, and it has a cross short detection to prevent connecting the two circuits together in a fault case. The cable sheet must continue through the connectors. The end of the safety circuit is a termination or a bridge. Next, for the lamp plus horn potential free, it has termination point connected to cage system, which included an alarm for our safety. The pin 7 is common of the potential free contacts. Pin 8 is the switch potential free contact for the lamp. Pin 9 is the switch potential free contact for the green lamp. Next, for the pin 10 is the switch potential free contact for the horn. Okay, for the hashtag lamp and horn, it has their own lamp which act as auxiliary parts. The operation of this lamp same as lamp and horn potential free, which is important for our safety.
For safety precaution, we have the emergency button. In our case, we have two connections of the emergency stop terminal. The emergency stop terminal is activated by a physical emergency button located in the control room. We can also activate the emergency stop terminal using in the system that come together with the kit. We can use it in a situation like when there is an unauthorized person enter the cage during the testing. We can use the emergency button inside we can use the physical one of emergency button inside the control room. The emergency button is usually in a red color. At the moment we activated it, everything in the cage will immediately deactivated. We have to keep in mind that that in the terminal, in the emergency stop terminal, we are using two normally close contact. We are using it together. On the side note, we have to use an shielded cable in every connection that involve in making the emergency connection. We either it is involving the frequency converter itself, or even that connected to the high voltage transformer that are connected to the frequency converter. Next, we have to keep in mind that we have two connection of the emergency stop terminal. So if the second one, we have the first one and we have the second one. So if the second emergency stop is not used, we have to make sure that the plug is bridged. And lastly, we have to use at least one of the emergency stop. We have to use one of the emergency stop. We have to make sure that the first one is connected. It is for a safety precaution in case we have something is not right, is happening. So we can use the physical button inside the control room to stop everything and to deactivate everything we have in the cage.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I hope you are Dr. Zikri. And for those who watching this video, I hope you are in good mood. Okay, as you can see before this part, that both of them, which is Izzati and Amira, is my partner for this lab session. So okay, for this part, which is me, I'm Muhammad Afizuddin bin Muhammad Sabri, B0716103038 ID number. Okay, my part, I will handle about grounding connection. Okay, if you know, so the basic thing is grounding. We connect it, we make some connection on it to protect the equipment, of course, but depends on what kind of current you use. For direct current, which is DC, it depends on you whether you want to make a grounding or it depends on you. But for this lab section, which is high voltage lab, we recommended to make a grounding so that this system or this lab section will protect the equipment on the lab. Okay, so basically grounding cable, we will see the color of grounding cable is basically green. However, in this lab, the cable not green color, but it is copper. Okay, the copper something like bigger like this, something like that, and we need to connect each other to protect each other, something like that. Okay, so the grounding system circuit must consider from the main grounding chamber. Okay, and it's grid. It's grid means it need to connect the grounding terminal coil. The grounding terminal cell, and from the grounding terminal cell to the frequency converter. Okay, So what we learn from this is grounding something like simple thing, but it's meaningful since it will give you more safety towards your equipment. Thank you.